Hi everyone, it's Sandra from Midwest Charm, and I told you I'd get a DIY video up of redoing this step stool right here. And while I'm at it, I'm actually working on two other pieces. There's a bed box right there and another bed box there. It is MEA weekend here, so my kids are off today and tomorrow. So you may hear them upstairs. You may hear my dog scurrying across the floor up there, and I apologize ahead of time. I'm going to try to keep this short today. I'm going to put first coats on all of these pieces. I've already washed them all up, and when I wash my pieces, I use Awesome from Dollar Tree. I water it down because the stuff can be really strong and gross smelling, and you don't want to inhale it, definitely. So make sure you have windows open and you have good ventilation if you're using this. But it gets all the grime off, and it just makes it, I don't know, really good for that paint to adhere. So for today on the step stool, I'm going to be painting it Hurricane Gray. And then I had mentioned that there's a cubby inside, and I am debating on whether to do black in there or to do a color. I haven't quite decided yet, but I have the black out just in case. This red box here is just going to be cotton, just a nice white. And then this bread box, which has already got a base coat of white on it, I'm going to be painting sea glass. And then the inside, it was previously sprayed. So it's got some overspray on the inside. So I'm going to paint the inside a darker color for a nice pop. And we're going to be using Dixie Belle's new Antebellum Blue. It is absolutely one of my favorite colors. I absolutely love it. I'm going to be leaving this knob on this one. I'm not taking this one off and replacing it at all. And I think on this other bread box, I'll be leaving it too. I'm not entirely certain. But as of right now, that's the plan. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this started. I do need to go get some new paint. I got paint, as you can see, for the green bookshelves. I did get those, another coat added to both of those, and I had to go pick that up today. And those are almost done. I will have a surprise decal that I am putting on them for the owner, and so you won't see any updates until they're given to him, because I don't want him to see them. And then I'm almost out of this Hurricane Gray, and this is really stuck today. Excuse me. There we go. I'm almost out of Hurricane Gray and Driftwood, which is another gray. And I desperately need both of those. And give me just one moment. I need my water gloves to spray my brushes. Sorry about that. All right. I always start with a damp brush. It just helps the flow of the paint. And like I said, I've already prepped these. They're ready to go. And I have no idea if and when my kids will be down here to bug for some lunch. They did have a snack just a little bit ago, so I'm hoping they will all just hold off or figure out something on their own. It's not often that all of them are home. Rachel's home today too. She didn't have work. So I've got everybody here. Todd's already done with work for the day, so he's home as well. So just, I've mentioned it before with chalk paint in general, with any of the chalk paints I use, the first coat doesn't always look the prettiest. You just want a nice thin coat to go on. Your second coat, you're going to do a thicker one, and you'll get full coverage at that point. Especially with these darker colors, you definitely will. So if these don't look the prettiest to begin with, that's why. It doesn't scare me away, because I know what my final outcome will be. I'm using my not favorite brushes today. I have to go on a brush hunt. They may be out in my garage right now. I don't know. Okay. You can see it goes on pretty quickly. And get some idea of what this is going to look like. I wanted for this, for it to be a neutral color, So it can go in pretty much anyone's bathroom, anyone's kitchen, by anyone's sink or bed or whatever you have planned for something like this. And gray is a good neutral. That will go in pretty much any decor. In our house, it's pretty much the go-to for a color. I use a lot of gray. Get this pulled over. I'm also expecting, we have an extra kid today too, so I'm expecting that mom to show up shortly. So if you hear my doorbell ringing, I may be pausing to go say hi to her and tell her kid was great. I have old sheets. I tend to use old sheets for drop cloths, so I'm not getting anything on my floors. Just for an easy cleanup. As you can see, I've got an old tablecloth there, and there's an old sheet over there. I actually can see it down, I don't even know where, but you can see the white with stars. That's over there too. I am painting the back of this. It's a different material than the rest of it. It's a little bit thinner, but I'm still going to paint the back of it because that allows for use anywhere, and it can sit at any direction. I don't want the back to be unfinished and just look, people to think they can't put it in a main room or anything. Get this all. And I'm not painting the insides of the handles or the front there where the lid connects yet. I think I'm going to do those whatever color I decide to do that inside. Just to give it a little bit of pop and interest, since this is a pretty straight up project. I do plan on coming up with some sort of a cute thing to put right here, so it gives it a little bit more. So that will be whatever color the inside is, so whether it's black or a green or whatever color, the stencil, the wording will be in that same color, just to have it be continual. And as you can see, this goes really quick. This paint is beautiful. It glides on nice, and it should be dry. It's pretty quickly here. I'll give it probably the afternoon to dry, and maybe work on it this evening if we have time. We don't really have plans. I know hockey's on tonight, but other than that, I don't think we have plans. So this will either get a second coat tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. Todd leaves early, and we are still short a vehicle, so I run him into work and typically don't go back to sleep. I just have an issue falling back to sleep at that point in the morning. It's rough. So I'll stay up and work on projects or catch up on listing items or something to keep me busy. But all right, so as you can see, that didn't take, I'm not even at 9.5 minutes yet, and we've got that first coat all the way done. I'm gonna scoot that out of the way, and I will rinse off the brushes all at once. And this can totally needs cleaned off. It is gross and chunky. I'll get the lid back on. I'm gonna spray my brush so it doesn't get too dry before I get a chance to go wash them off. Okay. And then let's go to move this out of the way a little bit more. Okay. Put a handprint on it. All right, and then this one, as I mentioned, has some overspray for whoever sprayed it previously. So I'm gonna paint the whole inside a different color. It'll have the lighter sea foam all along the edges and whatnot. And I do still see some gunk on here. All right. And it's a pretty tight squeeze, so I probably won't put more than one coat on these edges. That'll make it harder to open. So, and on this one, the back has never been finished. If you can see, it's never been done. I'm usually 50-50 on my bread boxes as to whether those backs get painted or not. My big tall brown one that I'm about to do will definitely get the back painted. This one probably will too. Now that I'm taking a look at it, I think it would be much better. I'm gonna spray a little bit more of this cleaner. The paint used previously is definitely not a chalk paint. And it's old. It's definitely old. Maybe a little greasy from being in the kitchen. But definitely not nice. Definitely needs an updated color. Freshened up. Okay. That out of the way. Okay. Wet my brush down. And let's get this painted. This is just a really pretty light blue. I've really dug downstairs today, and I have really terrible lighting down here. So I do apologize for that right off the bat. The lighting down here is miserable for paint colors. It makes the green on those shelves typically look awful, and it's really not. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. The perfect winter color of green. It's definitely reminds me of pine trees. Now, because the back of this was never finished, and I don't have it primed, it may look a little different than the rest of this color would. Love this color. I usually try to stick to very, very neutral colors for bread boxes. I hate doing something that's really going to pin it down to one set of decor or another. But this one, because it has that white already, I thought it'd be really neat to do a nice lighter color that I can just stress back, and that white will just peek through and make it look farmhousey. I think we'll do the back quick and then the other side here. This one has little feet on it, which is kind of cool. Now this is, like I said, bare wood, so it is gonna soak up this color. Completely different than the front wood. It's got a couple extra little lips in there from where the backer board goes on. Let me make sure I get all those areas so it doesn't have the wood tones poking through. So I will get first coats done. I probably won't video my second coats because it's going to be the same thing. So I'll get the second coats done, like I said, either this evening or tomorrow morning. And then before I do any wording or drawing on these, I will definitely make sure that we video that part, that I do get that out to you guys. These nails keep popping out, so I'll get those nails. There's one on each side where the door attaches, and I'll get those nailed back in again. I may need to go back in with a bigger nail on each. This is a pretty old bread box. It's I guess you would call it primitive, definitely. Quite possibly made from homemade. It's definitely homemade. Whether or not it's from somebody's leftover scrap materials from a project or something along those lines, it's definitely a more primitive piece than, say, the other one I have sitting here. I think it adds very much to the charm of this one. It's absolutely adorable. All right, first coat done. All the places that can be seen while it's closed, all look good. Double check everything, look at that lip. All right, I'm gonna spray that brush so that it doesn't dry out before I get to rinsing them off. All right, that, now let's sit, and then go over this brown one. And again, I picked white on this because one, it's a neutral, and two, because it has the darker wood and it's already sealed, so that when I do go back and distress it, I'll have the darker wood pop through and it'll look super, super cute. And I apologize for the poundings. I need to clean my couple of these paints so that it doesn't have the crusty dried up around the rim. My bad. And there's a few ways you can do that. You can use Vaseline around the edges of your little containers of these, or you can do plastic wrap, Ziploc bag, you know, like a little sandwich bag or something along those lines to keep it from being crusty. Or you can just be super duper diligent about wiping the bottle edge every single time, and I'm honestly not, because I usually end up getting interrupted and never I take the time to do that, which is probably not wise that I'm sharing that, but it's honest, upfront truth. Okay, there's a lip here. Let me make sure I get it. The fun part will be, I will sit here for the next day. This paint, both coats of it, end up drying, trying to figure out the perfect thing for each box that I do. If you have followed my Instagram, which is under my name, Sandra Grandy, you will see several bread boxes. I love doing bread boxes, love it. But you'll see several of them, and I've done all sorts of different sayings or different, I don't know what you want to call it, different, like one of them had a windmill on it, a really cute little windmill, and so it just depends on, you know, do I want to put something farmhouse related on it? Do I want to go bakery, baked goods? Do I want to go, you know, and make it more of an item to hide your electronics, and go with, you know, blessings, or just straight up farmhouse, or, you know, it usually will come to me what each one needs, and, you know, it just, I don't always know when I start what they're going to be, but I will then design something on my Cricut, and I will use 631 vinyl, which is a non-permanent vinyl, and I will design a stencil. And with that stencil, I will, what they call, weed it, pull out all the parts that I won't use on this piece, and I will then have, once those parts are pulled out, and I'll hopefully be able to get that captured on video as well, but then once I have that part done, it's as simple as letting the paint dry. I usually like to leave it 24 hours to dry before I stick a stencil on there, because even though it's not permanent, sometimes it can pull up that paint if it's too early. So I'll get the stencil on, decide what color to do for the stencil, and then stencil that, and then we're good to go. And just trying to get this bottom lip. I don't always do the insides of my bread boxes. It really depends on the piece. If they're pretty clean and they look pretty good, I'm gonna leave them. I'll probably use, it's called Big Mama's butter, and it helps rejuvenate the wood, and it smells amazing. I have Orange Grove on hand right now, but it smells amazing and just kind of conditions that wood, and it's non-toxic. But I typically don't like to touch the insides if I don't have to, because if somebody does want to use it for bread, I don't want to lose any of those qualities, you know, of the safe handling on that. So I will clean it up really good and then let it go to its new home. So as you can see, I have base coats just about done. And I have been recording for about 22, 23 minutes. And I've gotten 3 pieces with their base coats. And let me make sure I got everything. I sure did. So we're just gonna let this all dry. I'm gonna pull this back down, touch that up, and touch that knob back up, so that it doesn't have my thumbprint on it. And you can definitely tell all these pieces are gonna need more than one coat. Let me get in closer here. So you've got the, again, you just want a really thin coat to go on it, and then we'll put that second coat and get full coverage. And that's the sea glass and the hurricane gray on my step stool. So we're getting downstairs today. As you can see, we're getting our winter coats out because it's that time of year in Minnesota. So I've got sun behind me, so I'm sorry about that, but let me put you back over here. I'll get the second coats done and then I'll walk you all through my process on what I do next for designing my stencils and putting them on, and you guys can see how I do that and what I use for my brush, which isn't your typical. So anyways, thanks for watching, and feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.